After my miscarriage, I was still in pain when my husband's cousin said, "She's just using it as an excuse not to help around here." My mother-in-law nodded and said, "We all grieve. She needs to toughen up." That night, they took my car keys while I slept. I woke up to find my suitcase outside in the rain. I called my sister, and what she told me changed everything. My name's Rachel. I'm 34, from Roanoke, Virginia. I work in accounting, or at least I did until everything fell apart. I was married to Derek for 6 years. He's a mechanic, worked with his uncle at a garage on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, but we made enough to live. We had our routines. We had dreams. Or so I thought. We'd been trying for a baby for almost 2 years. Doctors weren't sure what the issue was, and every negative test felt like a punch to the gut. When I finally saw those 2 pink lines, I cried right there in the bathroom. I called Derek at work, and he sounded happy, really happy. He picked up takeout that night and even bought me flowers. I was careful. No caffeine. No lifting. I took vitamins, stayed home more, even stopped going to the gym. At my 12-week scan, everything looked fine. Baby had a heartbeat. I started letting myself believe it was real. I even bought a tiny pair of shoes. Then, one Thursday in March, I started bleeding. At first, it was just spotting. I tried to stay calm. I called my doctor, and they told me to come in right away. Derek left work early and drove me to the clinic. The whole way, I kept whispering, "It's okay. It's okay." But I don't think I even believed it. There was no heartbeat. I can't describe what it feels like to go from dreaming about your baby to being told your body is getting ready to let them go. I bled all that night. I barely slept. The next few days were a blur of painkillers, cramps, crying, and silence. Derek didn't say much. He wasn't cruel or anything. Just quiet. He watched TV. He played on his phone. He went to work the next morning. And I just stayed in bed, holding my belly and staring at the ceiling. On Saturday, he told me his cousin Jenny and her mom Sharon were coming to stay. Sharon's house had mold. They needed a place for a couple weeks. He didn't ask. He told me. I remember saying, "Now's not really a good time." He looked annoyed. They don't have anywhere else. I gave up arguing. That was always easier with Derek. When they arrived Sunday afternoon, Jenny gave me one of those fake little smiles and said, "You must be Rachel. Heard you've been going through something." I didn't even respond. I just nodded. The first few days were hell. I was trying to grieve, but there were dirty dishes, loud voices, takeout containers everywhere. Sharon took over my kitchen like it was hers. Jenny watched reality TV in the living room all day. Derek acted like it was normal. I overheard them on the 3rd day. "She's just using it as an excuse not to help around here," Jenny whispered. Then Sharon, "We all grieve. She needs to toughen up." I stood in the hallway, listening to those words, and something cracked in me. Not like a snap. More like a long, slow tear. I went back to bed without saying anything. That night, I told Derek what they said. He barely looked up from his phone. "They didn't mean it like that. They're just old school." Old school? No. They were mean. And he was a coward. I was bleeding. I could barely eat. But the next morning, I still did the dishes because Jenny left them in the sink again. I folded Sharon's laundry because it was sitting in the dryer for 2 days. I thought maybe if I tried to be nice, they'd stop. Maybe they'd realize how broken I felt. They didn't. That Friday night, I took a sleeping pill. I was exhausted in every way. I just wanted one night of rest. I woke up early, just before dawn. Something felt off. The house was quiet, but cold. I walked to the front door. It was open. and my suitcase was on the porch. In the rain. Unzipped, half of my clothes spilling out, wet and muddy. I ran inside, panicked, and went straight to the key hook. Empty. My car keys were gone. I checked my purse, still there. But the keys weren't. That's when I realized it wasn't some accident. It was on purpose. They wanted me out. They wanted to throw me away like I was a burden. I called my sister, Carrie. She lives in Winston-Salem. I barely got the words out before I started sobbing. She said, "Stay where you are. I'm coming." 2 hours later, she pulled up. She took one look at me, wet, shaking, standing on the porch with my arms wrapped around myself, and something in her eyes changed. She stormed into the house. I didn't follow her, but I heard yelling. She said things like, "What the hell is wrong with you people?" and "She lost a child and this is how you treat her." When she came back out, she helped me into the car. We drove in silence for about 20 minutes before she said it. "You know Derek's been talking about you behind your back, right?" I looked at her, confused. She went on, "Brad told me. He said Derek said you were being dramatic. That you were milking it. That he hoped you'd snap out of it soon." I didn't say anything. I just stared at the road. And that was the moment everything inside me turned cold. I wasn't going to let this go. The first few days at Carrie's were quiet. She gave me space, but she was always around, bringing me tea, checking in, making sure I ate. Her husband Dave set up the guest room for me. He didn't say much either, just nodded and hugged me once. It was the kind of kindness I hadn't realized I needed. I thought I'd cry more. But I didn't. Something inside me had dried up. I kept thinking about what Derek said. That I was milking it. That I should snap out of it. It played on a loop in my head while I sat on Carrie's couch with a blanket over my lap. By the 4th day, I made a decision. I got up early, showered, dressed, and asked Carrie if I could use her office. I needed to do something. I needed to start. She watched me closely, then nodded. "You gonna go back?" "No," I said. "Not yet. But I'm gonna ruin him." And I meant it. I started by checking our finances. See, Derek and I shared everything. But I handled the bills. I knew all our passwords, logins, and account info. He didn't even know the mortgage account number. The house was in both our names, but guess who made all the payments? Me. I pulled every bank statement from the last 6 months. That's when I found the first red flag. A $900 withdrawal 3 weeks before the miscarriage. From our joint account. Labeled cash. I didn't remember that. I never pull out that much cash. So I checked the security camera app from our front porch. We had a small cam over the front door. I had installed it last year when some packages went missing. The app still worked. I logged in. And I saw it. 3 weeks ago. Thursday night. Around 10:30 p.m. Derek walking out to his truck with Jenny. She's laughing, holding something in her hand. A wad of cash. My stomach turned. They got in the truck together. Drove off. I watched the clip over and over. Why would Derek be giving Jenny money? I kept digging. Credit card charges to a spa in downtown Roanoke. 2 visits. Back-to-back days. Neither was me. More Uber receipts. More random fast food places I never went to. I called the spa, pretending to be Derek's assistant. Asked for receipts for tax purposes. They emailed them. Jenny's name was on the appointment. It got worse. Back in December, when I was 8 weeks pregnant, Derek said he had to work a Saturday. I'd been throwing up all morning, and I'd begged him to stay. He left anyway. Turns out, he didn't go to the garage. He went to Asheville with Jenny. I found the Airbnb receipt in his email trash. A cute little cabin in the woods. 2 guests. That was all I needed to see. It wasn't just betrayal. It was with her. The same woman who called me lazy. The same one who said I was using my miscarriage as an excuse. I felt rage like I never had before. I called Carrie into the office. Showed her everything. Her face went red. He's sleeping with her. I nodded. And I'm going to destroy both of them. Carrie was furious. She started talking about calling a lawyer that day. But I told her to wait. I wasn't ready to go legal just yet. I wanted to play it slow. Let them think I was gone and defeated. So I didn't block Derek. I didn't confront him. I didn't file anything. I disappeared. I knew his patterns. He was dumb about passwords. I still had access to his phone backup through our old shared Apple ID. I downloaded the iCloud data, including his messages. And that's when I found them. Hundreds of texts between him and Jenny. Some were sexual. Disgusting. They even made jokes about me. About my mood swings, about the blood on the bathroom floor the day I lost the baby. She wrote, "If she cries again, I swear I'm gonna punch her in the face." He replied, "LMAO, do it, maybe it'll knock her out for a while." They joked about me like I wasn't human. Like I was some whiny, inconvenient mess they had to work around. But the worst one? 3 days before the miscarriage, Jenny had texted him, "What if this baby thing actually works out? You gonna stay with her forever?" And Derek wrote back, "Not if you're still around, winky face." I saved every screenshot. I started printing them out. I labeled them. Highlighted key lines. Then I took it a step further. I remembered something. Sharon, Jenny's mom, was still married. Her husband, Eddie, was a long-haul trucker. Real religious, real old school. Always bragged about his good Christian family. He didn't know Jenny was sleeping with her cousin's husband. Or that she smoked weed and shoplifted, stuff she bragged about when she got tipsy. I found Eddie's number on Sharon's Facebook. Called him from a burner app. Told him I had something he needed to see. Sent him the screenshots. 2 hours later, he called back. He didn't say a word at first. Just breathed heavy. Then, "You got any more?" I sent everything. He thanked me. Said he'd take care of it. 2 days later, I got a message from Sharon. "You manipulative bitch. You destroyed our family." I smiled. They weren't done paying yet. I checked the home deed again. That house Derek and I bought together? It was mine. I made 80% of the down payment. All the mortgage payments for the past 5 years were from my account. I gathered the records. I called a real estate lawyer in Roanoke. Explained everything. She said it wasn't open and shut, but I had a strong case to force a buyout or take majority interest in the property. That gave me an idea. I didn't want to just kick Derek out. I wanted him to know what it felt like to be thrown out in the rain. So I hired a property manager. Told them I was planning to rent the house. I gave them access. Told them to put a lockbox on the door. Then I waited. Derek texted me 2 days later. "Derek, hey, you doing okay?" I ignored it. Next day, "Can we talk?" I think we both said stuff we didn't mean. I still didn't reply. Then on Friday, "Why is there a lockbox on the front door?" I replied, "I'm renting out the house." 3 dots. Then, "What? We live here." I replied, "Not anymore." Derek didn't take it well. He called. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail, his voice shaking, angry, pretending to be hurt. Said I was going too far, that he deserved to say, that I was ruining everything over one mistake. One mistake? Sleeping with his cousin. Letting her insult me. Stealing my car keys. Putting my suitcase in the rain like trash. laughing about my miscarriage. That wasn't one mistake. That was a choice. Over and over. I told the property manager to change the locks. She did. Then I filed for divorce. The lawyer helped me push for full ownership of the house, citing financial contribution and abandonment. I sent her all the text messages. Every receipt. Every photo. The screenshots of Derek and Jenny calling me dead weight and crazy. The court gave me 100% ownership. Derek was served at the garage. Carrie drove me by one afternoon. Just to see. He was standing outside with his boss. Holding the papers. Pale. Shaking his head. I watched him from the passenger seat. That man once kissed my stomach and promised to protect me. Now he looked small. Pathetic. A week later, Jenny's dad, Eddie, filed for divorce from Sharon. Apparently, he threw all her stuff in the front yard and told her to go live with her daughter, if she could find her. Because Jenny had disappeared. I didn't know where she went, and I didn't care. Until I got a message. It was from a number I didn't recognize. It was Jenny. She wrote, "You think you won? You're sick." I replied, "You shouldn't have touched my life." She didn't message again. Later, I heard from Carrie's husband that Jenny had been staying with some guy in Tennessee. Someone she met on Tinder. Her life was falling apart. No job. No car. No family left who wanted to deal with her. And Derek? He was living in a motel off Route 220. Lost the house. The money. Even his spot at the garage. Apparently, his boss was Eddie's cousin, and once he found out what Derek did, he told him to pack his tools and go. The best part? I sold the house. Made a good profit. Used the money to start fresh. I moved to Greensboro. New place, new job, new name on the mailbox. But I made one last move before I left. I printed every text. Every photo. Every receipt. I mailed them to Derek's motel room. No return address. Just a note on top, "I grieved." Then I got even. This is what tough looks like. I don't regret any of it. Because they needed to know, you can't break a woman like me and walk away clean. Not anymore.